Too late. My hair's wild on that.
God, your hair's all on my hair's off. Hello.
Turn that camera.
Oh, we're going. Sorry. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to
the Yankees hat.
Welcome to our SBR Sports Pick. We have the odds couple. He's Mike Brenner. I'm Peter Loshak. This is a live show we do every day at 10:30 Eastern time. Today is April 5th, and Mike Brenner, here we go. Baseball has started. If you thought that, whoa, hold on 1 second. Whoa. Okay. If you thought that the Dodgers with Maeda and against the Padres and whoever the hell it was, Clayton, that's right, Clayton Richard was a no-brainer, easy casher, like I did. You were wrong.
Yep.
You were wrong.
As was most of the betting public, but you know what? It's you know, we ride this.
Yep, and here we go again with baseball. I had the
some early games.
Yeah, today. I had the over 8.5 in Cleveland, Texas. They scored 5 runs after like the first 2 innings, and it still goes under. So here we go. Baseball.
Yeah. Baseball's back.
Yay, relief pitching.
Yeah, baseball. All right. So Mike Brenner, we got
Speaking of relief pitching, that's what that's specifically what the several teams have to work on and get tight with, and I think one of them's going to be, you'll see it, the San Francisco Giants. They got to figure something out with that bullpen.
Relief pitching is also notoriously volatile and not predictive from month to month. It is a little bit, but from year to year. So
absolutely.
Let's quickly get into our picks, of course, that we give every day here at in the morning show. Mike Brenner, we have Chris Sale making his first start for the Red Sox with not a huge line, under -200, which I guess speaks to how good of a spring and Jameson Taillon had and his potential. And then we have let's see, of course, we have Bartolo Colon making his start against the Mets. He had
his former team,
and he had a terrible spring. That's some ominous signs right there. He was getting
he's going to get pounded.
Yeah, he was getting beat up every start in spring. And then we have J.A. Happ making his first start back from
can he do anything to bounce back? I mean, not bounce back, to copy that 20-4 record from last year.
If spring training is any indication, the answer might be yes, because he had a great spring training, and he might be able to repeat it as Cliff Lee was able to do. If you remember him a few years ago, he was able to put those kinds of seasons together. So J.A. Happ might be doing that.
Yep.
And then so what do you have for us, Mike Brenner? You have anything or what?
Here's one thing I like. You look at right now, I think Washington with Rourke on the mound, I'm going to pull the trigger on the first 5 money line.
Rourke had a great
run line.
First 5 run line.
Yes. He was 16-10, 283 last year. I just think Staley, they got him from the Reds, 14-8. He's had a 376 last year. He gave up NL worst 31 home runs last year, and 18 of them were on the road, Pete. And I think even though he's on the road again, he's with a new team. Well, they may have had him last year towards the end, but I believe he's not been with them long. I got a feeling he's going to have a hard time adjusting at Washington. I think Washington's bats are going to get it done. So first 5 run line.
All right, it'll be -110, and I was leaning Washington there and just wondering whether or not the line is just a little bit too high at now it's down to -150. So that is.
I was wondering what the team total would be for Washington also in that game.
Let me see. I can check it, but I can check it. Let me see. Washington, the team total at Pinnacle right now would be let me see. Where the hell is it? 4.5 plus 100.
4.5
on the over, and the under is -121 for Washington.
Okay.
Let me see. What else do I want to take? There were a couple of totals that I did hit on the overnight. I did hit the under 9 in in Philly and Cincinnati. Eichhoff and Finnegan are starting. Now Finnegan is very iffy. He had a rough spring. He was getting hit game in and game out.
Yes.
He doesn't inspire confidence. But this is a high total. I already hit the under with these guys on their first game, and I was also thinking about the under 8 in the Chris Sale game, in the Boston game. Is pitching great. Sale looking like
a good spot. I'm surprised that's at 8.
So weird.
You think that's?
Yeah, a little bit.
No doubt.
A little bit. He does a little bit.
I think that's a high total though for him on the mound. 8 runs. I thought it would be like 6, 7.
Yeah. Wow, I don't know what to. So yesterday we had a bunch of in general not so nice comments at the time, but here we got Brenner is the man. Brittany Jamerson, love the show, fellas.
Thank you, appreciate
Sports
that.
App Ball saying you guys are awesome. This is unbelievable.
Well, good. Thank you, Pete. It's nice to hear. And you know what though? Some of the haters. I mean, I get it. I get what and I take responsibility for my lack of production. But you know what, Pete? We're doing the best we can. We don't charge a damn thing. And you know what? We're going to get sharp. I know it. But thank you for those comments. I appreciate that.
Yes, yes,
Thank
yes.
you, guys. Thank
All
you.
right. I
Hey,
am.
did you see I got a lucky beat yesterday? Remember, I was telling you I did a baseball blast in the afternoon with Redman with the Angels. It was plus 105. It swung minus 116, but I got lucky on a ninth inning, 3-run homer. 3-run homer to cover it. So sometimes it's nice to get those little injections of luck also.
Okay, very nice. And yes, I will throw on. Hopefully this doesn't go over in the end, but I will throw on the under in Pittsburgh, Boston, under 8 minus 115. I'll take the Greek line there.
Okay. Hey, how about the Rockies?
Who's he pitching against?
Who?
Sam?
Pittsburgh, which and not for nothing, it's just one game. But Andrew McCutchen, first game result.
3 strikeouts.
Not looking good for Andrew McCutchen. Just one game.
It's one game,
but you know.
I know, but imagine that he's feeling that pressure too. They're on the road, but yeah, who's pitching against Sale?
Taillon had a great spring, and
you know, it's a lot of new stuff going on. Also, you got Bud Black took over the Rockies. They've scored 13 runs in 2 games, but they gave up 10. So you know, can they keep that pace up? Can they go for 3 straight wins? I don't know, but we'll see. They're at Milwaukee today.
And here's a guy, Dan Kellerman, Derek, talking about how
Dan, I like that guy.
He likes KC, and that is also one that I hit on the overnight. Ian Kennedy, you know, as the season wears on, maybe he will, you know, falter a little bit, but he's looking pretty good. And again, in general, I'm liking that KC right now to be a little bit undervalued, Minnesota to be a little bit overvalued. So I am liking KC as well. And you know what? Yeah, I will take it.
Pull that trigger.
I'll take it. The Chris line's at minus 109 right now, just on the money line. KC minus 109. Yeah. So that's another one I'm throwing on there. Let's see.
What's the line on that Mets game with Cologne facing
Well, it's about minus 190 or minus 200.
Pretty chalky.
Yeah, and it's in New York, right?
Yeah, it's in New York. No, I was thinking about a shot with the over on that one because I think that Cologne's going to get it, and DeGrom, you know, if he's not lights out, that one might go over low.
What's the first half run line on that?
On what, for the Mets?
Yeah, first half run. I just got a shit. I might get.
Totally.
You think he's going to be sharp?
Sharp 4.5. I'm getting the hell out of
there.
Somebody else will fuck up.
Maybe. he just had a terrible spring though, which is very ominous.
And I think he might be having his emotions might get in the way today.
There will be minus 135 for the Mets.
I'm going to hold off on that.
Yeah.
Because Matty Ice, you never know. He might be right. He might zone in there.
Yes. All right, you know what?
He surprised us last year. He did me start after start after start there.
I might get burned on this one, but I will take the under 9 officially in Philly, Cincinnati. I'm going to take under 9. The Greek has minus 120. I'll throw that one on there. So that's
wanted us to talk about that, Pete, because last year you had a really good feel early for Eichhoff. All right, he's on the mound again.
Yes, Eichhoff is an interesting story because 2 years ago, of course, he was great. Eichhoff is, you know, he doesn't have great velocity. He has a great curveball, so he can be he's kind of up and down. It's just the total is a little bit high, a little bit up there, and you know, we can't have Finnegan to implode. And actually, the more I talk about it as the seconds go by,
here we go.
More and more
seconds. Wait till the minutes go by. Don't get nervous.
I'll take under 9 minus 1.
Pull that trigger. Don't get nervous, Pistol.
Yeah. Rangers get their first win tonight with
Hamels. You would think that they have to, but you know, I don't know.
I think so. You know, I would lean that way.
What's that line sitting at?
It's close to pick 'em.
Okay.
You know, Salazar is, of course, the guy who gets a ton of strikeouts, but also gives up runs and home runs. So, you know, I'm not too jazzed about betting against Cleveland right now. But if there is a spot where I would bet against them, it would be in this. Game.
I think Hamill still has enough in the tank to be real effective for that team.
Yeah, definitely. And let's see. As usual, every game is starting to appear a little bit attractive to me. Let's see. James Paxton. I don't want to bet against Houston, but Paxton and Charlie Morton for Houston.
Charlie.
He actually had a good spring, so who knows what to expect from him. I think at some point he's going to be very vulnerable this year, but he had a great spring and he might start off. He might have a great April here. We'll see.
So, Pete, I think I think we're going to be surprised by some, and some we won't be surprised. I think some are going to struggle more than others. Like you got Matt Moore for the Giants. Tampa Bay traded him to the Giants last year. He did good at the, in the playoffs, but he had a rough spring, and I'm just wondering what's going to happen with that at Arizona.
All right, and then for the NBA, we're going to do our NBA show later on. I actually haven't had time to look at any of the games, but we will get.
I'm sure they'll get more attractive to you, as you said.
Maybe less so. Maybe less so. Let's see. Is there anything else you want to give as a pick, Mike?
Nope. That's all I'm going to go with right now. I think, I think it's time.
All right. Other thing that's interesting is that James Shields starting for White Sox, and he had some bad starts in the spring, but he also had like a good one. So James Shields might not be, and he's not that old. it's debatable how horrific he'll be this year, but he might not be super horrific. And I remember last year there was some times when we were expecting him to maybe get crushed when it didn't quite happen. So
well, how that worked out yesterday, I was thinking Clinton Richard was going to get just pelted.
Yeah,
he looked sharp.
That's right. And
shut him down.
Baseball is a matter of inches, and a swing of the bat here and there can be the difference between an implosion.
Is there
and
any early updates on any injuries, Maddie, that might be
I was going to ask you about Beltray. I wasn't sure if he was back up in the Texas lineup.
Okay.
Other than that, I do not know.
Okay.
But I do have a question from one of our viewers. Dan Straley's first game in Miami. How do we see that going?
Yeah, that's a good question. We did talk about it a little. In Miami, he's pitching for Miami, but he's going to Washington. So I think he's going to have a rough spot. Remember, 14-8 last year. He had ups and downs. Yeah. But it's the home runs on the road. 18, Matty gives up on the road. Gave up 31, a NL worst last year. I love it. That's why I got Washington on the first half. I think they might even just beat this. Matter of fact, team, I'm going to pull the trigger on that team total over 4.5.
Washington. For Washington? Okay, over 4.5 plus 100. All right, yeah, Straley, my prediction is that he has like an okay start, not a lights outside. Let's answer some of these questions here. Let's see. Let me quickly. Okay. Let's see. Here, guys, an interesting question. He goes, do you think a lot of people ask about Lynn? He was out with an injury, and Lynn, I think, will probably have a decent season at least to start. But facing the Cubs is never an easy assignment. So he might get hit here, but then not, but then actually have a decent, start to the season.
About Jeremy Lynn.
Yeah, no, I think that Lance Lynn in general is someone who will probably, at least to start, you never know with injuries, and he obviously seems injury prone, but at least to start will probably
be 3-pointers.
Probably be okay. Another guy asking, Pistol Pete, do you bet multiple times on one baseball game often? And the answer to that is sure, of course, but you have to be aware that they're obviously highly correlated. So when you do that, you want to reduce your bet size with each bet.
Yep.
And
so on a roll, you can't stop them. You can only hope to contain them. So how many official picks you putting out? 1 or 2? I think you got 2, right?
I'm putting.
I know you got the under 8.
I'm taking KC, and I took 2 unders: the under in Boston and the under in Cincinnati.
Okay. What do you think about the total for Seattle and Houston?
Oh gosh.
10-foot
pole. 10-foot pole.
What is that sitting at? 7 or 8?
No, I mean it's a low total. The first 2 games, I thought if any were going to go over, those would. Yeah. Here you have Paxton, who obviously has electric stuff. He can be lights out, and then Morton. Not sure what to expect from him. Again, a strong spring. I think it's a safe bet to say that at some point Morton's going to be a vulnerable starter, and you want to bet against him, and he'll get hit. But to start the year, he might have a good April. He might have a good May. So I'm not looking to. I'm taking a wait and see approach with Morton for sure.
What about your?
That pitcher yesterday for the Angels, Shoemaker. Remember, he took that line drive to the head, had a skull fracture. He pitched like he didn't even have that injury. Yeah. And the runs that they gave up came after he exited, but he did a great job. So I just want to touch on that.
Yeah, sure. What are you guys' outlook on Steven Strasburg for the rest of the season after?
My outlook on him is, the thing about Strasburg is that he's doing that new thing where he's like attempting to pitch from the stretch all the time to keep himself more durable. My sense is that is.
He looked comfortable in it.
Yeah, he looked comfortable. Again, my sense with Strasburg is that as usual, I expect him to be good until he gets injured and has injury problems. But hard to imagine him having being undervalued. And when he does start to show injury problems, that's when he gets overvalued.
That's right. If he stays healthy, I think he's going to be a force all the way through.
Yeah, and the thing is that Washington is looking again. They're not looking like the Washington team that would be overvalued as they have in years past. So my sense is that probably he'll be very slightly overvalued, but not massively overvalued as he was at times.
I'd like to ask our viewers a question. When do you guys think the Cubs are getting ready to erupt? Is it today, or is this team going to continue to just have pitch shut them down? Or
I don't know.
Just anxious to hear what they say on that.
Well, unfortunately, they don't have microphones, so we can't hear what they have to say. But
I can tell you.
It'd be cool if they did have microphones.
Oh yeah. By the way, in case you guys didn't know, Detroit game got postponed.
Yes, I saw that. I meant to bring that up. Yep.
All right.
It must be bad if they're postponing it, because early this morning it got postponed.
J2K's in May. Guan's waiting on the Cubs.
Okay, waiting on the Cubs. Good to hear from you, Guan, by the way.
You guys aren't waiting on right now.
Yeah, I'm not waiting on. I just think, well, I don't know. I think I might be a little too early. I think the Giants, even with their bullpen, I think their offense is going to do a lot of team total overs.
A lot of people ask about Colorado, and in general, I was high on Colorado to start the year, both with the overs, team total overs, and on games. They got
a few injuries already. Also, they've already got like 6 guys that are going to be out for a while. 3 of them happened in the last couple days.
Yeah. So for today's game, Peralta also had a good spring and pitching kind of well. So I'm not too jazzed.
He needs a bounce back. Solid.
I'm not too jazzed to fade Peralta here, but in general, yes, I'm kind of auto betting on Colorado and a believer in their offense.
Tim Tebow got called up. I'm kidding. Matty, I'll wait.
Double A.
All right, Mike Brenner, why don't you buy me about 15 seconds of analysis and give a plug for something so I can have 15
Absolutely.
seconds.
Hey, hashtag Ask SBR, guys. Do your line shopping. Yesterday, I was talking with Matty about it. Breadman. That's the importance of line shopping. It was out of nowhere. All right, that thing was plus 106. It moved, and taking that time to research that is everything, especially with baseball because it will be moving around. I like it today, Pete. I like the team total for Washington over 4.5, and I like the first 5 run line minus 110 with Rourke on the mound. I think Australia's going to really suffer early. And yeah, buddy, that's what I'm going to go with today.
Okay, you know what?
The Reds and Phillies game. He was you're taking a chance on the under, correct? Or you?
I am. It makes me look.
Confidence is high.
Confidence is low.
Yeah. But it can creep up higher as the day goes on as he watches those
and it's
lines.
mostly
pitches aside, you got 2 relatively weak offenses.
Yes.
That's a very high total.
Yes. But
so too. Yeah.
Including Finnegan into that equation, it starts to look a little bit more iffy. But I'm going to take it under 9. And you know what I will do? I really am a believer in Rourke. I'm going to take Washington -1, which should be about pick 'em. I'm on there with you. I'm going to take Washington.
Jump on there, Pete.
Well, that's 4 picks for me. I'm going to take once again the unders in Boston and Philly and Cincinnati. I'm going to take Washington -1. I'm going to take KC on the money line, and I guess I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Cavs 3.5.
Who?
1.
Oh, we haven't looked at. We're focusing on baseball for the morning show since we're not doing.
No, that was from Guan, our quarterback.
Oh,
we
okay.
can ask.
But I haven't looked at it at all.
You know what? I think last night, they came through. They covered the full game. They didn't cover anything else. But I think they can get it done. I think Kevin Love's going to have another big game. He had a good game last night.
Raptors make the playoffs?
Ooh, did you see that last night? What happened with Lance Stevenson at the end? Oh, yeah, because he's back in Indiana again, right? So they put him in at the end of the game for some trash time. The fans wanted to see him score. Well, there was 3 seconds left. They were up by like 10 or 12. Guy throws it to him, and instead of just dribbling out the last 4 seconds or whatever, he goes up and puts a layup in. The crowd loved it, but Toronto went nuts. They went off. It was almost a brawl in the middle. You would have thought, oh, here we go again, Detroit, Indiana, the brawl.
That happened.
Oh, buddy, it wasn't pretty. PJ Tucker went nuts. He wanted to just tear him down. So Stevenson apologized.
JaVale McGee did one of those last week too.
Well, afterwards, Stevenson wasn't. I thought he was going to be real cocky about it. He wasn't. He said, "I apologize to them guys." He goes, "I got caught up in the moment with the fans welcoming back to Indiana. I just wanted to put up a basket," which I get that, but. Somebody here at SBR, a guy behind the scenes, he likes the fact that Toronto had that, even after losing, had that little fight. He thinks they might get a spur from that.
Shout out to all our viewers. Here we go. Dan Kelly. Shout out to Dan Kelly. Reports that the Cavs 0-9 ATS back-to-back on the road. So there you go.
Okay.
Thanks so much for that, Dan
That's
Kelly.
A great
this
one.
stuff is
appreciate all you guys. Thanks for the good comments.
I do look at these things, and when you post them and they're good like that one, thanks to Dan Kelly. Cavs 0-9 back-to-back on the road.
Dan Kellerman loved his insight all the time.
Definitely announce that. All right. Shout out to Sports Have Balls. He goes 4 triggers pulled by pistol. We really appreciate the support here. And now Dan Kelly is
here we go.
He says 1 for 9. Okay, 1 and 9.
All right,
1 and 9.
Come on, Dan.
All right.
No, seriously, guys, thank you. Yep. And tune in later on to the NBA Odds Couple Show. We're going to get that going, and also we're going to be doing the baseball breakdown. I think tomorrow for the rest of the weekend.
Yes.
For the series. So don't miss that. And also, guys, remember subscribe on the videos and hit that like button. Let everybody know that you appreciate it. And for the haters out there, hey guys, I have nothing. I'm not going to make any excuses. Throw it on our backs. It comes with the territory. But I know one thing: we ain't got no quit in us, do we?
That's right. Okay.
All right, guys. Let's get it done.